I'm waking up to ash and dust.
Oh.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Screen Weens, the only ween with the screen. My name is London. I'm here with Thomas G.
Yo, it's me, Thomas G.
It's me, Tommy G.
Oh, yeah.
Time to pop and lock.
And drop.
And drop. We watched 2 movies this week. Adaptation by Spike Jonze, written by Charlie Kaufman.
Yep.
And Paris, Texas,
from
directed by Wim Wenders. Yeah. Written by fucking some guy that I was looking up. I forgot his name.
Yeah, I don't know who wrote it.
Nice.
I should, though.
I also knew the cinematographer. I was looking up like all the production people for it, and then I just completely forgot about them. Nice. That's how you know we're very professional. Oh yeah, Robbie Mueller did the cinematography.
Okay. Huh.
He did the same cinematography for like a bunch of Jarmusch films.
Okay.
And also Dancer in the Dark by Von Trier.
Jumping ahead a little bit. Is the guy from Stranger Than Paradise in?
Yeah, he's I'm like, so. That guy, as soon as I saw him, I'm like, that guy looks extremely familiar.
Yeah.
One of the guys that's like shows up for like literally one scene in Paris, Texas is the main character in Stranger Than Paradise. Mm-hmm. It came out the same year as well.
It's I don't know how, but like my mind association had always like wrapped Wim Wenders and Jim Jarmusch together back before I watched any of them.
They kind of have a similar style, I would say. I think Jarmusch kind of does it better from what I've seen. Like, but they do like the same. Like Stranger Than Paradise and Paris, Texas were edited in like very similar ways. Like they would just fade to black like slowly and then cut to the next scene, but it would like be like they had the same kind of structure to it, I guess. Anyway, before we jump into those movies, how was your week?
It was a week.
Do anything fun? Watch anything else?
Yeah, I watched the final season of BoJack.
And did you cry?
No. It's never been a show that's made me cry.
Tommy G doesn't cry.
That show's like, it's like it's not like sad in a like, oh, this makes me like emotional kind of way. It's more of like a, oh wow, this is really fucking depressing. Oh wow, I'm kind of panicking, kind of sad. Yeah, so I didn't cry, but I thought it was a satisfying ending. There was some things that I thought were a little bit rushed, but that was because they originally had 2 more seasons planned. Oh, but Netflix was like, nah, you and Tuca and Birdie are canceled. So they like canceled both.
I didn't realize they canceled Tuca and Birdie.
Oh yeah. The same.
I still need to watch it.
It's good.
I've heard.
In certain aspects, I think I might like it more than BoJack.
And that was only 1 season, right? Or did it go
on? I think it definitely could have had like the potential to be way better than BoJack. I'd say BoJack is I probably will like better because I've got more of an attachment to it. I've been watching it all these years.
But like
Tuca
had a much better start, I guess.
Yeah.
Like I said, I still haven't started like BoJack because I watched the first episode and was just so turned off by it. I'm like, ugh.
The first episode's not very great. But yeah, Tuca and Birdie is like a lot more like stylistically popping. You know, it's got a lot more like cool visuals going on. They'll like break into different animation styles. The characters are just a lot more fun.
And that's Ali Wong and Tiffany Haddish, right?
Yeah, and then Steven Yeun, I think is how you pronounce his name.
Oh yeah.
He voices like a main supporting character, basically like the equivalent of like Todd in BoJack Horseman. Which is Aaron
Todd.
Paul's character.
Yeah. I don't remember who Todd is.
He's the dude who wears like the red sweatshirt and the beanie all the time.
Kind of like you. Except like you wear a red jacket and the fucking taxi cab hat or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
What kind of hat is that called, do you know?
The cabbie hat? It's got a lot of different names, but I think cabbie
serial killer hat.
Yeah. I think it's kind of become the incel hat, so I think I need to shift hats.
Yeah. Because you can bring the fedora back now.
Oh, yeah. I can just
honestly, I do think the cabbie hat is kind of becoming the new fedora for incels. Not that it's a bad hat.
No, it's something I've kind of noticed. I've noticed a lot of, like... Because I've been wearing this hat for years, and the longer I've been wearing it, the more people... I notice, particularly chubby white guys, and I'm a chubby white guy, I'm like, oh, shit. I was a little ahead of the trend here. I need to...
I was the cool kid, and now it's like... Why won't women fuck me for being nice to them?
Yeah, so...
They're fucking whores.
So, I'll probably switch over full-time to my winter cap for a little while.
Epic.
Yeah. Oh, it's nice. It keeps my ears warm. It's cold right now, so...
It is...
Unless you live in Antarctica, then it's fine.
That's true.
Because it's 65 degrees there right now.
Yeah. Yikes, what the fuck?
I've been doing a lot of news this
Global
week
warming
as well.
is not real.
Well, it's not. I don't know what you want me to say about that.
Anything else you watched, or mostly just BoJack this week?
Mostly just that. I did like a lot more reading this week as well. I didn't read any more Naruto. I switched over to Yu Yu Hakusho. So.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. Enjoying it.
I've heard that's pretty good.
Yeah. It's pretty good for 90s shonen. It's got its problems, but it's very charming and very fun. So, what about you?
Obviously, since I've started my new job, I'm not watching like 3 or 4 movies a day. I'm only watching like 1 or 2, so which is still a lot of movies.
Yeah.
But I watched. I've been meaning to watch like the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Some of them.
Yeah.
Some of those. Adaptations. So I watched one of the first ones, which was the 1921, and it was not very good. But I've heard that the 1931 is like incredible, like one of the best, if not the best. So I wanted to watch the 21 first because I felt like if I was going to enjoy it, I would have to watch it before the 1931 one.
Yeah.
So I did. I did not enjoy it, but it was okay. There were some good parts. The Art of Self-Defense came out last year.
Yeah.
I meant to watch. I did watch it. It was pretty decent. Like, there was parts of it that were, like, the funniest shit I've seen in, like, the last year. And then there were a lot of parts that, like, dragged out and stuff. So it had some really, really great parts and a lot that dragged it down. But still good. I watched my first Ralph... Bakshi?
Oh, yeah.
Bakshi? Whatever his name is.
Yeah. What did you watch by him?
I watched Fire and Ice. I did not like it.
Yeah, I've seen the Lord of the Rings movie he did.
I think I saw the Lord of the Rings, but I was like 7, so like I'm like not gonna.
I saw that, and then I saw when I was like really young. I saw like. I don't think I watched the whole thing, but I definitely saw a part of Fritz the Cat.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I mean, like, there are parts that I appreciate about it. Like, I like the idea of rotoscoping and stuff.
Yeah.
And it makes the action sequences really fluid and stuff like that. But then they rotoscope, like, just regular dialogue scenes, and it just looks super fucking stilted because of that.
Yeah.
And the animation, like... isn't very good for a lot of it.
Yeah,
like, there's really nice backgrounds, but everyone's face looks fucking gross.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely part of his style in the Lord of the Rings cartoon. It's been a while since I've seen it, but they do like the rotoscoping for like the action scenes and that, but they don't use rotoscope for the whole movie, so when they do switch over, it's like really obvious. So it's just like, oh, whoa, these are real people now.
Also, it was just, like, really fucking, like, racist. Like, the main, like, villain, the people that work under him are, like, these darker humans that are called subhumans, and they all, like, can't speak English very well. I'm just like, what the fuck is going on here?
Was there any sort of, like, semblance of, like, he was
really
trying to make commentary?
Not really. No? Like...
Okay.
Even at the end where they're like, no, we can't fight anymore. It's the white guy that's like, no, we have to stop the violence.
Oh, white savior movie.
Yeah, it's just fucking, like, there were good elements. There were some good pieces, but, like, the characters were really fucking boring, and it was weirdly racist, and there was a weird, like, kind of homophobic part where there's this, like, lesbian witch that shows up for no reason and then dies.
Oh.
But I do want to watch some more of his films. I feel like I'd like some of them. I might like Wizards.
Wizards is his really big one. Fritz the Cat's like his other like really big, not Lord of the Rings type like name recognition.
And what is it? Is it? What is it? Hold on. There's one that I've been meaning to watch that I've heard is very good. Oh, American Pop.
Yeah, I don't think I've heard of that one.
I also watched That Thing You Do, which is a movie directed by Tom Hanks. It's one of the only movies he's directed. It was from 1996.
Is it bad?
No, it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. It was about the other movie he directed called Larry Crown that came out like 5 years ago. I've heard that's pretty bad. Or maybe it came out like 10 years ago. I don't know. But this one's pretty good. It's about like a band in like the 60s or 70s. They're like just like this garage band. The main character's like the drummer.
Okay.
And he comes in and it's just like their rise to fame and then fall. But it's like pretty like generic storytelling for like that story, but the song's really good and there's some really good performances. And there's this really, really great scene where they like hear their song on the radio for the first time and they're all like tuning into different radio stations to like try to be the first one to hear it, and Liv Tyler's in it, and she hears it, and she's like screaming, and she's running through the streets until she like finds another one. They're like dancing in the street, and then they run to the next person, and it's just like a really happy scene, and it's like really, really nice.
Okay.
Charlize Theron, it's like one of her first acting like roles.
Okay.
She's in that. She's a bitch in it. But I was like, whoa. She was like 20 when she was in it. I'm like, look at that.
She played a bitch in the movie we watched last week, too.
That's true. And then I watched Birds of Prey.
Yeah.
You saw my epic review where I was dancing around.
I didn't watch the whole thing, but I clicked on and you were like, this movie was amazing. I'm like, oh. And then I saw like everyone was like, this movie's amazing. I'm like, oh shit, this movie kind of defied expectations because I
liked the trailers and I was excited to see like somebody that like a director that I had like never heard of do something because I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
I want to watch Dead Pigs, her other film, but no, I don't think you'd like it as much as me, but I saw it again yesterday with Joe and I really, really liked it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably like enjoy it, I'm sure. I just probably wouldn't be like, whoa!
And then I watched Justice League for the first time. And that was the fucking worst. I don't think it's as bad as Batman v Superman, but it's really, really, really bad.
Well, I mean, here's hoping for the Snyder Cut.
But I sandwiched Justice League in between the two watches of Birds of Prey, so...
Oh, okay. Are you gonna rewatch Suicide Squad?
Probably. Like, I remember not, like, hating it. Just because, like, I thought it was bad, but I thought there were enough, like, fun performances in it. Like, specifically from Margot Robbie, and, like, I like Will Smith in it. Just because I kind of like Will Smith just being a dumbass. Yeah. That I, like, didn't hate it, but I feel like I'd hate it if I watched it again. I think I gave it a 5 the first time. I didn't, like, love it or anything, but I didn't think it was as terrible as everybody watched. I think it's funny because the DCU has some of, like, my least favorite superhero movies, but it also has, like, some of my favorite.
Yeah, like
and
the
Marvel,
last 2 years they've been making a real comeback.
Yeah, like...
Shazam.
I thought Wonder Woman was pretty good. I don't think it's great, but... Oh, okay. But Wonder Woman, Shazam, Aquaman, and Birds of Prey now, right? Those are the 4. Which I'm like, wow, good for them. I've seen all 8 now. And I like more than half of them. I think 5 of them, so...
Oh, wow.
That's pretty good. The only ones I don't like are Suicide Squad, Batman v Superman, and...
Man of Steel?
No, Justice League. I like Man of Steel okay. Like, I gave it like a 6. But that was... I haven't seen it since it was in theaters,
yeah. So... That was the only time I saw it, and I didn't like it back then.
For whatever reason, I really liked Superman Returns. Have you seen that one? The
I remember.
2007 one?
Yeah, I saw that one once when it was in theaters, so I was much younger at the time.
Okay.
But I remember really liking that one too.
I don't want to rewatch it though, because fucking Kevin Spacey plays Lex Luthor.
Yeah, and
which is unfortunate because I think he was kind of a good fit for the role.
yeah.
And it's directed by Bryan Singer.
I was gonna say I thought I remembered Bryan Singer directing it, but
which is unfortunate because I want to rewatch the original X-Men movies because I think X2 is legitimately a really good superhero movie.
Yeah,
but it's just it's tainted. I can watch movies made by bad people. It's just I'd rather not.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I tend to. I still plan on watching, a lot of films from, Roman Polanski and, probably some of Bryan Singer's movies, but I'm not going to pay for them. I'm not going to support them, and they're on the back burner. I'm not going to prioritize.
It's not I'm I gotta watch some Polanski films!
The only one that I really want to see is The Pianist, and that's because I like Adrian Brody, and I hear it's really, really.
That's the same thing for me. The only one I really want to watch is I think it's called Ghost Rider because Ewan McGregor's in it, and I'm I want to I eventually want to watch his whole filmography.
And so it sucks because sometimes I'll be scrolling through my Facebook feed, and I follow a bunch of different film groups that'll just post screen caps with some subtitles.
No, that looks good, and then it's a Roman Polanski film.
No, it's usually a Woody Allen movie. I'm God damn it! I don't want to watch a fucking Woody Allen movie.
Yeah,
guy hooked up with his adopted daughter.
Yeah,
and it's weird and gross, and I don't like it. But
did you watch any of the Spirit Awards last night?
No.
Fucking Adam Sandler won for Best Lead for Uncut Gems.
Huh.
And his speech was fucking iconic. He's thank you to all my fellow, the fellow fucking contestants or whatever, the people that were, and he's because now you will always be known as the people who lost to fucking Adam Sandler.
Nice.
And he also was he pretty much said, fuck you, Oscars.
Yeah.
They were people were talking about how I was snubbed by the Oscars.
No.
And it reminds me of when I was in high school. And I was snubbed for best looking in the yearbook. But I got the much better best personality. And he's the Spirit Awards are the best personality of award shows.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that snub sentiment. I think he was good in Uncut Gems. I liked Uncut Gems, but I don't think it...
I mean, looking at the other things, I think he at least deserved maybe a nom.
Yeah, he could have gotten.
But the Safdie brothers also won best director or whatever for the Spirit Award.
Okay.
I think the Safdie brothers got snubbed more than anyone in the Oscar. I just mean Uncut Gems as a whole. None of it got a nod at all.
There's definitely things in it that definitely deserved a nomination. I like Adam Sandler. I like him as a dramatic actor, but the huge thing that I take into consideration when I think about it is every good dramatic role he plays that I've seen
has a good director behind it.
No, it's always a more dramatized version of the kind of character traits he'll play when he's playing a comedic role.
Yeah.
Always very angry, very just irresponsible, kind of like a man-child.
Yeah.
And I think it works. I think he can be a great dramatic actor, but it's he doesn't have to stray too far from the post, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's literally it's close to his comedic roles, just sadder usually.
Yeah. Just under a serious lens.
Make some depressing stuff.
But
he talks at the beginning of his speech. Aubrey Plaza was the host of the Spirit Awards, and he's it's nice to see you again, Aubrey. We haven't seen each other in 11 years when we worked on Funny People together. And he's that was the last time critics pretended not to fucking hate me for 2 minutes.
Huh. Yeah, no, I remember really liking Funny People.
Yeah, I still haven't seen Funny People. I've been meaning to.
It's got a good first 2 acts, and then the third act.
Yeah, I think we talked about that with Hannah when she was on.
Oh, we might have.
We've gotten to the point where we recycle our own conversations from 3 episodes ago.
Woo! We're already there!
Yeah! I mean, we're almost. This might be episode like 30 or something.
Oh,
we're going.
We're going. Yeah.
We'll be at a year of doing Screen Weens the podcast soon.
Oh, jeez, really? We've only taken
like 20 weeks. That seems like pretty close. We're closer than that than we are from start.
Yeah, that's true.
It seems like we literally have done the podcast for like a week sometimes. Like we just started to me sometimes. And then sometimes I'll be like, yeah, we've been doing it for like 7 years.
Yeah, it feels like it's been like 3 months max sometimes. And then I'll like be like, oh.
And then I'll look at like our first episodes and I'm like, what the fuck is this movie?
Yeah, it's weird because there will be like some of the earlier episodes that I'll remember like better than our more recent episodes, but then it just depends on the movie, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Like the 10 out of 10 movie that I remember.
Yeah.
And the 1 out of 10 movies I remember.
Yeah, they're
like Splatter is forever ingrained into my brain.
No, I stopped thinking.
Splatter's like stuck in my brain. I don't even think about it. Sometimes it just pops into my brain.
Oh, man.
I'm cursed.
Yeah, no, aside from like, I think like a couple weeks ago, I was listening to the episode that had Splatter on it. Because I was just going through some of our stuff while I was at work to pass the time a little. And I was like, oh yeah, this movie fucking exists. Gross. And then I haven't thought about it before that.
I don't even remember what episode. Was that the episode we covered The Witch?
It might have been. Yeah, I think it might have been. I know it was like shoehorned in the last second.
I was like, hey.
I didn't put it in like I like put the title of it in the thumbnail, but I didn't like
because I literally like
it.
messaged you it like the day before.
Yeah.
Runaway and The Witch, yeah, that was a weird fucking day.
Yeah. 3 movies going in like opposite directions tonally.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I also got caught up with This Is Us, my jam show. Because I was down 3 episodes, And season 4 is really good. It's a good show. I think you should watch season 1.
Oh, is it on anything?
It's on Hulu. I also have the first season on DVD that I lent to Lucero like 3 months ago, and he probably still hasn't watched a single episode.
Well, I messaged him before I came over here, so if he responds...
Were you like, where the fuck is my money?
No. I was like, hey, hit me up and maybe I'll come hang out with you after I'm done recording the podcast if you message me before I leave.
I want to hang out with me?
I can.
Yeah, so let's talk about questions, I guess.
Yeah, okay.
Questions from Pierre. What a surprise.
Ooh.
One day we'll get other questions. One day we'll have 100 subscribers.
One day.
If you found out that humanity's future was being guided by some form of higher intelligence that would ensure its continued survival throughout time, would you not interfere? Would you try and gain back humanity's freedom to control its own destiny, even at risk that humanity may destroy itself? For me, this question is easy. I will always care about freedom more than safety, I guess. Yes, I would stop this higher being from, controlling us. I would rather die a free man than live long as a puppet.
It would entirely depend on the extent of the control. How much control does it have over, our lives? Is it,
I guess,
because,
I guess it would kind of be like free will doesn't actually exist.
Yeah.
It's an illusion.
Yeah.
Which I'm not okay with. I do think free will exists because I don't believe in higher beings that made us. So.
I think free will exists in, kind of like a multiple choice kind of form. Just obviously a wide choice because, obviously it's dependent on, your environment, what's around you. You know, you could be like, oh, you know, I had oatmeal for breakfast and that was my choice, but it could have been your choice based on the fact that you're low on money, you had oatmeal in the house, you didn't have very much gas in the car or whatever.
Yeah, like you have free will, but you have less free will than rich people.
Oh, yeah.
Because rich people can literally just do whatever they want. Let's shoot a car into space.
Yeah, and then there's like, well, like absolute free will would be like, oh, I want to float right now. That's my choice. And
that would be epic.
Yeah, where you can defy reality with your freedom of choice, but...
That's what I'm working on.
But obviously, like, there's like the whole like society argument that where it's like, oh, if you're going to be a part of a society, you know, you automatically kind of forfeit certain freedoms. So if this higher being was like on the path of that, and I mean, as long as the requests were reasonable, as long as I'm not like, it's not like an oppressive force, I guess I'd be fine with it. But if it's like, I don't know, saying gays can't get married and you know, you can't say its name in vain or else it's going to send you to time out for all eternity, then
time out.
I don't know.
Okay.
Would I even be able to stop a force like that? Probably not.
I would.
I'm a potato.
I would try my very fucking hardest. Whatever happened to Ned's declassified school survival guide?
It ended.
Yeah, I never saw it, so...
Yeah, I did.
It ended.
Yeah.
Pierre, do you understand that shows end?
Bigsby and the main girl, whose name I can't remember, I'm pretty sure they got together.
Nice. Good for them.
Actually, wait. Hold on. That might have been a different movie that I'm thinking of.
Wasn't Ned's Declassified a show?
It was.
Did they do a movie?
I think so. I think they did one of those, you know, like right after iCarly ended, they did that movie that had Jeanette McCurdy and the actor for Spencer in it.
Yeah, God damn it, what is it called? I remember really liking it.
Well, I think they did the same thing with like Ned's Declassified, where they like did like some
Best
sort of like
player. We should watch that.
Thank God you don't have Modern Pick this week. Anyway.
They play the game Black Hole.
I never watched it. I watched like maybe like 5 minutes of it, and I was like, this is boring.
It's not great.
But I think they did like a kind of like high school romance movie that had the actor for Ned and the main female actor from Ned's Declassified that I can't remember what her character's name is. But I'm pretty sure they were in like some sort of romance movie, so I might be thinking of that when I'm thinking of the ending of Ned's Declassified. But I remember it had like later seasons where they were obviously kind of getting older for where they were supposed to be, and I was like, all right, come on.
Time to end it.
Time to end it or move schools.
Or there could have been like 35 still going.
There's been a lot. There's like that like meme I've seen floating around my Facebook page every once in a while where it's like, where's Ned? I need a new survival guide.
All right, the final question. Do you think David Lynch has ever talked to a girl? Believe it or not, Pierre, David Lynch has been married 4 times.
Yeah, and there's also plenty of video evidence of him talking to girls.
Yeah. So. But good try for a got him.
Yeah.
We appreciate the David Lynch questions. Pierre, I'm going to make you watch another David Lynch movie soon.
Depending on your line of choice at the end of this podcast, there might be a David Lynch.
Oh, already? Wow.
It's not a David Lynch movie, but he's in it. He acts in it, so.
I didn't know he was acting in a lot of movies.
He doesn't do like a lot, but he does sometimes.
Is he like a main character in this movie?
He's like a supporting character.
Oh, that's
also,
cool.
remember, he does various voices for Seth MacFarlane's adult cartoons. He was the bartender in the Cleveland Show.
Why?
I don't know why. He just was.
That's really funny. That's like how Werner Herzog just is like randomly in Hollywood films. Like he was, I think he was the villain in the Jack Reacher film.
Huh.
And he's in The Mandalorian, and sometimes he's just like, I want to go Vietnam Hollywood.
Yeah, I mean, whatever gets them through the night, I guess. He also, there's like a bit on an episode of Family Guy. It's like one of my favorite cutaway gags from the show, where it's like David Lynch during Christmas, and he like comes down the chimney, and there's like a little kid with a present, and he opens it, and it's like like a severed finger. Oh. He's like, it's meant to scare and excite you. Did you leave any black cigarettes and coffee for me? And the kid's like, no. And he's like, well, next time, would you please leave out some black cigarette and coffee for me?
Nice. Oh, the funniest show.
Yes.
I do actually probably like the Cleveland show more than like the other two, which is funny because I don't really like the Cleveland show.
When I was like an avid fan of those shows when I was in like middle school, Cleveland show was my favorite of the three. I don't know if it would be now. I'm sure there'd probably be a lot of stuff in there that if I watched it today, I'd be like, yikes! Especially since Cleveland is voiced by a white guy. But
yikes! All right. You got your movie idea?
Sure.
Okay.
All right. It's about a guy who runs away with a stranger in a cross-country trip where he's kind of like running away from his homophobic parents. He's like, I'm just going to hook up with this guy and go across country. And, I don't know, some drama ensues along the car trip, and he's like, shit, I shouldn't have fucking done this. I should have taken a more honest approach to this or something. There you go.
David Lynch should be the dad.
Oh, of course.
Okay, here's mine. It's about like these 14-year-olds. They have this like new like crushes on each other. The guy asks the girl out, and she's like, "Oh yeah, that sounds great." And she's like, "You just have to come meet my mom." And he like goes to their house, and her mom's like acting really weird. She's like sweet at first, but she has a bunch of like quirks that are going on. And he's like, "What the fuck is going on?" And he's like, "Okay, whatever, that's fine." But he like walks in, and she's like performing a ritual where she's like murdering someone. And he's like, "What the fuck?" And he like gets trapped in the house with them, and he has to like fight them off. I had a dream about this last night. It was very like scared.
Oh, okay.
Because I woke up, and I have like sleep paralysis every once in a while. So I like, woke up, and then I saw the woman right there. I'm like, ah. I remember in part of the dream, I as the boy, it was like me younger. I fucking like broke a sink off and like smashed the girl's head in with it. Oh, so look for that in the movie.
The girl, as in like the girl,
the like 14-year-old.
Okay,
because she was also like a murderer. It's like one of those things where it's like luring somebody over.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, situations like that, I imagine, are probably pretty fucking scary in real life.
Yeah. It was scary in my dream. I was like, fuck. I wake up and I feel like I'm going to have a heart attack sometimes. My heart's banging. I'm like, ah!
Huh. I haven't had a good sleep paralysis in quite a while.
Yeah, I get them a lot. I have a lot of nightmares. That's where I get a lot of my movie ideas.
I'll get one like every like once in a blue moon, and it'll usually I'll be like, oh shit, hopefully that doesn't happen for a good while. And then it doesn't.
When I was a kid, I was always like scared going to bed because I'd be scared by movies a lot. But it'd be like I would never have a nightmare if I had just watched something scary. But if I was trying to get something scary out of my mind, I would watch like a cartoon. And then that scariness would like go to the back of my head, and that's when I would have the nightmare. I'd go to bed, and then it'd come back, and I'd be like, "Fuck!"
Weird.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about Paris, Texas.
Okay. Yeah. So So it begins.
Harry Dean Stanton.
Harry Dean
Standing in the middle of the fucking desert.
Yeah, he's basically just trekking along, and he finds himself at this like kind of like local gas station rest stop kind of place. So he goes in, he kind of like grabs a handful of ice, chews some of it, and he just collapses. He faints. He's exhausted, probably hungry, tired, dehydrated.
Yeah, like he opens the fridge and all there is beer, and he's like, oh, it's like obvious he like wants water, so he just goes to the ice and starts eating ice.
Yeah. So then he wakes up at this like shady hospital. It's not really a hospital. It's more of like just.
I was like, am I watching Hostel?
Yeah, some like doctor's house. He works backdoor doctor bills, I guess. And basically, he's trying to get information out of this Harry Dean Stanton's character. But Harry Dean Stanton isn't talking, so he kind of just goes through his wallet, finds a business card, and he's like, is this you? Well, I'm going to call this number and figure out who the fuck you are. So he does, and we cut over to LA, where there is a couple. It is Anna and Walt. And he gets the call and he's like, oh, fuck. And then he basically tells Anna, he's like, they found Travis. She's like, oh, what do I tell Hunter? Yeah, what do I tell Hunter? He's like, tell him the truth. I'm going to go get him. So he goes over, he flies over, and as soon as he gets to this like doctor's place, the doctor's like sitting down. He's like, let's talk about our form of payment here. And the dude's like, can I just, look, I'll pay you or whatever. Can I just see my fucking brother, please? And the dude's like, well, he actually left. Like,
he's not actually here.
So he's like, fuck. He's like, but if you want your brother's stuff. And then we cut away. So we are left to assume that he had to obviously pay probably.
Yeah, he's like, if you take care of the reward, you can have it. And then it shows him having it, so obviously. So
he obviously just kind of got overcharged to get his brother's items. But he drives around a little bit and he finds him. And he's like, Travis. He pulls over and Travis is just like walking towards like some fucking mountains and hills in the distance. And he's like, hey, it's me, it's Walt. It's your brother. And Travis is just like quiet, It's like, where are you going? Where have you been? Because basically the context up until this point is that 4 years ago, Travis and his wife disappeared just off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
And when this happened, their child Hunter was like got dropped off on their doorstep by somebody. And basically Walter and his wife Anna have been taking care of Hunter for the last 4 years and have like become his adopted parents. So he's basically like, well, come on, get in the car. And it takes him a little while. He's very hesitant, but he eventually kind of gets in the backseat of the car. He's very like antisocial, very just kind of like deflecting a lot of whatever Walt is like.
He doesn't even say anything for quite a while.
Yeah, he doesn't talk until like 30 minutes or so into the movie. But yeah, so basically they go and they stop at this hotel. And Walter's talking. He's basically just trying to figure out where his brother's been. And he really can't get much out of him, so he's like, here, why don't you take a shower? I'm going to just run down to the store right down the road real quick. I'm going to buy you some new clothes. You could use some new clothes. Doesn't that sound nice? And so he goes down to the store. And of course, while this happens, we see that, like, Travis has a little bit of, like, an emotional breakdown. He's kind of cracking. He's starting to cry a little bit. Or getting to the point where he's about to cry, but then he stops. He goes, and it looks like he's going to get in the shower, but then he, like, changes his mind and just leaves.
Yeah.
And Walter gets back, and he leaves the shower on. And then, like, Walter, like, immediately, like, kind of goes in and checks and sees, oh.
He's like, God damn it.
Yeah, so he goes and picks him up again. And,
Travis is just walking on the railroads.
yeah.
Oh, no.
So he gets back in the car and, trying to remember.
And this first section was probably the most, like, intense for me, actually, solely because Harry Dean Stanton looks like the guy that I used to take care of for my job.
Oh.
Who didn't talk, and who I was always afraid was just gonna, like, disappear.
Okay.
It was just, like... So I was just having, like, super bad anxiety this first, like, 30, 40 minutes.
Huh. Okay. But yeah, so basically... He
drives.
makes small talk, they drive around, and eventually Harry Dean Stanton gets to the point where he's talking.
Yeah, he's like, come on, you need to talk, come on, I can be silent too, but then doesn't be silent. He's like, this is not, you gotta talk, and he's like, Paris. He's like, what? Paris.
Can we go to Paris?
He's like, that's a little far away, because he's assuming it's Paris, Europe, but of course it's Paris, Texas.
And
I don't know why I said Paris, Europe instead of Paris, France.
Yeah, I don't know.
Paris, Europe.
But basically he's explained, he's like, look, I told Hunter that I was going to bring you home to see him. And I would like if you would do that. And he's like, well, can we go to Paris first? And he's like, no, we can't go to Paris first. That's too far out of the way. So they kind of get back into talking a little bit again. And, they are about to go on a plane to get to LA. But Travis is just like, fuck that, I don't want to leave the ground. So the plane has to pull over right as it's about to take off, and they get off. And then they go back to the rent-a-car spot where they have to find the car with the exact same car that they were in. They say it's because he left his stuff in there. I don't think that was it. I think it was just he was
a familiarity thing, yeah.
So they finally get the car and they start heading back, and Walt calls Anna and lets her know it's like, oh, we're gonna be an extra 2 days.
We gotta drive.
Yeah. Yeah, so they drive for a couple days, and they're slowly kind of, Travis is talking more and more, but he's still not willing to kind of confess what happened to him these last 4 years.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not ready.
Yeah, there's a part where he straight up asks him, he's like, are you ready to tell me what's happened? He's like, not yet. So, yeah, basically, there's a scene where Walt kind of confronts the issue of by the way, we're kind of Hunter's parents now,
Yeah, it's like, listen, because they've been raising him longer than his actual parents raised him, because they dropped him off before.
A little under, because
they dropped him off when he was almost 4, and now he's almost 8. Yeah, so
yeah, so basically this is 3.5 movies kind of stapled together. They all connect to each other and have a cohesive narrative. It just feels like different movies.
Anyway, we'll be right back. And welcome back to the Screen Weens.
Hey, no time at all passed for you.
No time at all. Literally half a second. So we're talking about how the movie pretty much feels like 3.5, 7, 1,000 movies.
Yeah.
Kind of crammed together. The first one being the road trip back,
Yeah, and then the second one's very much kind of this family drama where it's this, where Travis is basically trying to get to know his kid Hunter, and just kind of the drama that centers around that. So yeah, him and Walt show up, and Anna's at the door to greet them, and then he kind of looks up the stairs and he sees Hunter's up there. And he says hi.
Hunter kind of looks like he's going to murder somebody. He's in a little nice. I don't trust kids that are dressed nicely and have their hair combed. I feel like they're going to pull out a knife and kill me.
Yeah.
But yeah, Hunter's super non-receptive to him.
Yeah.
And even the next day, Walt's like, could I, like, pick up Hunter from school and walk him home? And Hunter's like, I don't want to walk!
And so he's like, you know, he's trying to be fair to the kid.
And
you
he's
know,
like, oh, never mind, I don't want to do it. And the mom or Anne is like, no, you have to! Walt, you have to now!
Yeah, so...
And then he goes to pick him up, but...
Yeah, he just runs off and gets a ride home with, like, one of his friends.
Yeah.
So, he's kind of, like, a little upset about it, but, you know, as one would be, but, I mean, he can't really blame the kid.
Yeah, he's like, hey, she's gonna take time.
So, basically, Walt gets home, and, they find Hunter. He's like out in the car. He's got like this thing for driving, it sounds like, but they don't dive super deep into it. It's just like a real like kind of surface level detail that they bring up like once or twice.
Mm-hmm.
But he's like in the car and he's like, I'm just driving.
Just driving.
Yep. And he's like, you're not hiding out in here, are you? He's like, no. He's like, well, you realize, you know, Travis is like your real father, your biological father, right? And he's like, yeah. And it's like, basically, he just kind of is like, you know, I'm just, you know, he's my brother, and I'm just trying to get you guys to do, you know, bond a little, talk a little. And he's like, why? He's like, you know what, never mind. Let's just go to dinner. So they go to dinner, and this is where we kind of get the first hint of what happened between Travis and his wife. Do you remember his wife's name? It's the only character who I...
Jane. No. Is it Jane? I thought it was Jane.
It might be.
Yeah, it is Jane. I'll check, but I'm pretty sure it's Jane.
Yeah, so basically they're at dinner.
Jane Henderson. That sounds right.
They're at dinner, and Walt brings up, he's like, hey, Travis, you know, I've got some Super 8s of that trip we took to the beach, you know, a few years ago, about a year before you disappeared or whatever. He's like, do you want to watch them? And Anna's like, maybe he wouldn't want to. But he's like, yeah, no, I'll watch them. So they basically gather around, and it's the Super 8 sequence, where basically we just kind of...
It's Jane.
Jane? Okay. Yeah, we just get some, like, old footage of them together on the beach, you know, happy family, happy beach time. And it's more of what's going on outside of the film that matters, because we see that Travis is having a bit of an emotional reaction to Jane on the screen.
Yeah.
And Hunter sees this, and Hunter's like, he still loves my mom. So, yeah, basically
There's also the fight between Aunt Anna and Walt.
Yeah, that happens in, like, the scene after this, because basically...
I was getting them mixed around.
Yeah. Because basically, like, they go to bed after that, like, they send Travis to bed, but he goes up and he stands next to Travis for a second, and he says goodnight to both of his dads, and he calls them both Dad, which I thought that was kind of wholesome. I'm like, aw, 2 dads.
2 dads.
And then he goes to pick him up from school the next day. But before this, there's the scene you just mentioned where we hear Anna and Walt arguing. And basically, you know, Anna's just extremely scared. You know, I could see why she's concerned, because she's obviously feels like Hunter's mother.
Yeah.
She certainly probably has earned the title at this point.
Yeah.
And, you know, she's afraid that he's, you know, something's going to happen and he's going to leave. And she's not very happy with, like, Walter's attempts to, like, kind of push them together. And there's a line here where, you know, you can tell that he's just kind of frustrated and emotional. He says something a little, he probably words it differently than he meant to, but he basically states, he's like, well, we can't just keep pretending to be his parents. And she's like, I'm not pretending. Like, I am his parent. You know, I
Yeah.
love that boy to the moon and back. And he's like, admittedly, he's like, yeah, I feel the same way. But we just got to look at it how it is, you know. And Hunter hears this through the wall.
Yeah.
So, cut to the next day. And Travis walks Hunter home from school, and he's a lot more receptive to it this time. And
they're like walking on opposite sides.
Yeah.
And they're doing like doo doo doo. They're doing this funny little sequence where they're looking back and forth from each other. They're going behind a bus, and he's like walking backwards.
Yeah, funny little like physical humor. And man, I was thinking about this like part today, or not today when I was watching it yesterday. Like, any of the parts where, like, Harry Dean Stanton was just, like, standing around at the school, I was like, anyone paying attention to this guy?
Yeah, this man's, like, 60 years old.
And just the way, like, especially when they were, like, doing the street thing, where they're on opposite sides of the street, I'm like, this is kind of creepy.
Yeah, the movie's kind of creepy.
But, yeah, so they walk for a little bit, and then Hunter crosses over, or Travis crosses over to the same side of the street that Hunter's on after they've like walked a fair distance. And obviously this is meant to be kind of like some visual symbolism for like their relationship. There's obviously some distance between them at first, but as they kind of trek along, eventually he kind of allows Travis back into his life a little bit. And oh, fuck, we forgot to mention one other scene that happened the night before, which was, like, right after her and Anna and Walt are fighting. She goes out.
Anna tells Travis that she's known where Jane is, or, like, close to where she is, like, the entire time, because she's been sending money the 5th of every month.
She's like, no one knows this, not even Walt, but I kept in contact with Jane for a little bit after. She would call, ask about Hunter, and she would send, ask me to open a bank account so she could send money. Yeah. And it got to a point where she stopped
Stop calling, but still sending money.
Yeah, and I know that she deposits money every 5th of the month to this one particular bank in Houston. And she also says, I know what happened between you two. Which, another insinuation of, something went down between these two. What was, like, your thought process? Because obviously it's not revealed until the final, like, few minutes of the film.
Harry Dean Stanton's character is, like, a bad person in it.
Yes.
Like, so I was just like, at first I'm like, did he murder her? Like, at the very beginning, I'm like, did he murder her? And that's why he's just, like, kind of wandering the desert? I thought he, like, murdered her and went insane.
That was my thought process until it got to the point where she was like, I kept contact with her. And so, okay, obviously. Then they left kind of two options open for my mind, which was either horrible physical abuse or rape, and obviously you could probably group those together, but I was like, oh man, oof. Regardless, not good for what lies ahead. But yeah, so basically, he picks up Hunter the next day from school, and I'm trying to think, because I remember three. I think I remember 3 different points where he picks him up from school, but I might be just segmenting one of them.
I think it's just the 2, and then the last. Yeah, well, the first one where he doesn't he tries to pick him up. The second one where they walk, and then the third he takes him, and then
because I was gonna say. I don't remember what happens, because I remember they walk home, and I remember the next time he comes.
Oh yeah, he comes in the truck. Yeah, and he's like, "Is that your car?" He's like, "Yeah."
So I don't remember what happens.
And he tells his brother he needs to go find his wife.
Yeah.
And he's like, I need money.
Oh, yeah. And
his brother's just like, okay.
Yeah, okay, that's what happens. And then there's also, like, his brother has, like, a moment where he's like, God damn it, Travis. Just fucking tell me what the fuck happened all these last 4 years. And he cools down for a second. He's like, all right, it's none of my business. I get it. I'm just fucking worried about you, man. Which, I feel so bad for Walt and Anna in this movie. Like,
yeah. Me too.
They really get the shit end of the stick.
Yep.
But yeah, so basically he gets the car and then he picks up Hunter from school and they go for like ice cream and they're sitting under some like highways, some freeway.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm gonna go see your mom. He's like, I'm coming with you.
Yeah, because the kid, he's like, oh, well, I gotta go find your mom. And the kid's like, well, what about me? You just fucking found me, goddammit. Obviously without the profanities.
But pretty much the exact same thing.
And he's like, well,
I can't just take you with me. And he's like, yes, you can. And he's like, okay. And then they just go.
Yeah.
Without telling anyone until like that night.
Yeah, they get to
San Bernardino.
Yeah. Glad you remembered it, because I wouldn't have.
And they get a call. They're like, why are you in San Bernardino? He's like, I'm going to visit Mom!
Yeah. And basically she's like, oh, put Travis on the phone.
He's like, no! And then he hangs up. That's pretty much it.
Travis tells him to hang up.
Yeah.
And, yeah, so basically they travel to Texas and, you know.
They go to the bank.
You go to the bank and they set up, and there's like this cute little bit where the kid's like, we need to pick up walkie-talkies, and he's like, what for? And then they get to the bank, he's like, we have reason for the walkie-talkies, we can split up. He's like, oh, I guess okay, yeah. So
they go to like opposite sides, and then they both fall asleep.
Yeah, but the kid
in the middle of the day.
I mean,
I don't know. I can't fucking sleep with the sun in my eyes. Especially when I have to do something.
I mean, the kid was on his side. And Harry Dean Stanton was in a truck. So.
But the kid wakes up just as like his mom's leaving. And he's like, oh no! And he's like, what the fuck? Dad, wake up! Dad!
She's leaving! Get over here!
Up, he's like, oh, and then they do a little car chase.
Yeah.
Not really a car chase, but they're like, oh, where is she? And she's like, she's in the right lane. That was weird because they were obviously in the right lane already. But then
I think
he's like, it's over there.
Yeah.
It's just like they filmed this scene like where they were in the car and they were like, oh, she's over there. I think before they filmed the like scene where it's the actual car moving. So it just kind of looks weird because it's like, oh, it's over there. And we're like, we're already in that lane.
Yeah. I figured he was just like, oh, it's the one in the right lane because there was a couple red cars. So
yeah, and then they find one, and they follow it, and they're like, there were two red cars that looked almost identical.
Yeah.
And they're like, I hope this is one.
Yeah.
And it was.
But basically, pulls it. By the time they like find it, it's pulled into this parking lot of this building, and it's like pretty much like. It's just like this big concrete building. There's a bunch of cars that are like lined up against it. And her car is empty, but they look and they see. And we know it's her car because she was wearing a headset when we had seen her at the bank.
Mm-hmm.
And
headset's in there.
Yeah. So they're like, all right, well.
You stay here, kid.
Yeah.
And he goes inside.
And it turns out to be
It's pretty much like an in-person phone sex line.
Yeah, basically.
Like you have a one-way mirror so you can like go in, you see the girls in a room and they talk to you. But they can't see you.
Yeah, but so basically. But he doesn't arrive to that conclusion at first. He arrives upstairs and he's just kind of like wandering through random rooms and he finally ends up in this like big, like kind of like lounge where a bunch of like
where the main character of Stranger Than Paradise kicks him out.
Yeah, he basically like sees that this is like the character that's like with his wife, at least at the room, a bodyguard type. I don't know what he is, boss maybe, but we never really get much insight into his character. This is the only scene he's in, but basically like he walks into the little bar where his wife's at, but she's got her back turned in. And then the dude's like, whoa, you're not supposed to be in this area, go downstairs. So he's like, oh, okay.
One issue I have with this scene is like, when somebody's like talking, if you're next to somebody and you're like talking to them and then they turn and they're like, hey, you can't be in there. Why would you not like immediately turn around to see who it is? You know? It's just it's not like a big deal. I'm just like, that's not how humans work. Like, I feel like instinctively you would turn around.
No.
Oh, you wouldn't?
No, I do a lot of though. Oh, I'm not. Don't. I'm not going to turn around. I'm going to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just me.
I'm also very socially anxious, so.
I mean, I don't like talking to people. I just like instinctively, I'm like, who is it? I'm like more anxious about not knowing who's behind me.
But, yeah, so he goes downstairs and she like turns around like right as his back's turned and walking down the stairs. But, and fun fact, I had seen this screenshot a lot and had no idea it was from this movie. Like her at the bar turning around in like the pink get up that she's wearing.
Her weird pink sweater dress thing.
Yeah. But basically he goes down, he sees that there's just like a bunch of guys walking into booths, walking in and out, and he's like, oh, well, I'll walk into one of these. And he finds that it's, you know, the glass, a chair, and a phone, and he picks it up, and the dude's basically like, hey, what type of a lady would you like? And he's like, well, I'd like a blonde one, about have medium size, I don't know, whatever he says to describe his wife.
Yeah.
Or ex-wife.
I don't think they ever got divorced, so.
Yeah. But, so basically, they send down this one named Nurse Bindi first.
Yeah, Nurse Bibbs.
Or Bibbs, yeah, that's what it was. What did I say? Bindi?
Yeah, something like that.
I don't know where I got that from, but... But, yeah, and he's basically like, okay. Can you see me? Because he notices that she's, like, got, like, that lazy eye syndrome where she's not really looking at him. And she's like, no, I can't see you. He's like, oh, okay. And then he leaves. And then he goes and tries another booth. And then he actually gets his wife in this one. And he, he's basically like, he's asking her some questions. He doesn't like straight up say, he's like, hey, I'm Travis, you know. He's kind of just trying to figure out, like, kind of feel her out, see how she is, see what information he can kind of get out of her without like conveying that it's him, see how she's doing. And yeah, it gets to the point where, because he's very quiet most of the time and she's doing a lot of the talking. And then it gets to the point where he kind of like asks, he's like, are you guys like allowed to leave?
Yeah, how much money do you have to pay you to get out?
And she's like, no, we're not allowed to leave. He's like, well, I mean, they just say that, right? They don't like...
Yeah, he just starts being a dick.
And then he kind of like lets loose this kind of nasty side. And then she's like, all right, sir, I don't think I'm the girl for you. And he's like, wait. No, look, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
And then she stays. And yeah, he basically just weirds her out a little more, and then he like just kind of leaves the phone off the hook and leaves. And he goes outside, you know, finds Hunter, and he's like, well, and he's like, was it her? He's like, yeah, your mom was in there. But he basically doesn't give any deeper explanation to why she didn't come out. He's just basically like, come on, let's go. So they go to a bar where he starts drinking. And Hunter's very displeased with this. He's basically like, that shit stinks. I'm going out to the truck. And then Harry Dean Stanton obviously stays in there for quite a while longer because it's night. And then we see them like stumbling down the street down to like this hotel.
Yeah, the Meridian.
Yes.
Why do I remember the random...
I don't know.
Yeah. They get a room and all that. They talk to each other, and then in the morning, I think he's like, he records a tape for his son.
He's basically like, I couldn't say this to your face, so I'm gonna just record this for you. But I'm a piece of shit. And And I thought that I could make this all work out. I thought I could give us a happy ending, where I could get our family back together. But I realized that I don't fit in this environment. I'm dangerous to you guys. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get your mother back for you, and I'm going to leave. So he goes back to this club, leaves his son in the Meridian, and then he, gets his wife back in one of these telephone rooms.
And he turns around because he can't face her.
Yeah. Turns the chair around.
Can I tell you a story?
And basically he tells their story. And he talks about, basically, he was older than her, which is very evident just based looking at their characters now. Because she's a much, younger woman than he is. And he's basically we were madly in love, but it got to a point where, I felt like there was just something I couldn't offer. There was something that she wasn't getting from me. And, they started, getting in fights, and then it turned out she was pregnant.
Yeah.
And then, basically, that, because he was talking about how he was, really bad at drinking, and then he quit drinking.
He was a pedophile.
Yeah.
So he said she was either 17 or 18. He's and he was much older. And he's 35 years older than her. The actor, at least. Also, the actress is too young to be in this movie. Even at that age, I was why the fuck? Because she was 23 in the movie, which would mean she would have been 15 when she had the kids. I was why didn't you just get a slightly older actress? Because this makes me even more freaked out. I'm yikes!
Huh. But, yeah, so basically, he was when I found out she was pregnant, when he found, because he's talking about a story, so he's not referencing himself in the first person.
Yeah. When he found out,
but when he found out she was pregnant, he stopped drinking, and he tried to get his life together and, support, but he was, obsessed with her. He was, just so madly in love with her, to the point where he would, quit his jobs because he couldn't bear being away from her for 8 hours.
Yeah.
And he found himself in this dilemma, and then she became depressed and bitter, and he would always accuse her of cheating on him, but that wasn't the case. And then he started staying out late because he wanted her to be jealous, because he has this fucked up cross wiring in his brain where he says that he interprets jealousy as a form of love. And when he would stay out, he was hoping she would be jealous, but she wasn't. She was just constantly fucking angry with him. And it got to the point where one night he was just so angry and so just fucking dead inside that he tied her to a radiator and left her screaming all night, along with the kid. The kid was also screaming all night. He wasn't tied to the radiator, he just left the kid in bed. And he basically was and I just didn't want to feel anything anymore. I just wanted to sleep. I wasn't upset, I wasn't happy, I wasn't sad, I was just tired. And that, basically, he woke up the next morning and just left. Started walking somewhere just to be forgotten. He didn't want to face anyone. He just wanted to kind of live in solitude and abandon this life as much as he could, meanwhile letting it kind of rot him. And he explains this to her, and she's very emotional. She realizes obviously who it is.
Yeah.
Once the details become more specific, and then she kind of talks, and she's talks about her regrets with Hunter. She's oh man, I felt so bad. I just didn't have what he needed. you know, you left. I didn't have anything. I wasn't what he needed. He needed a better home. So she sent him to Walton Inns. And he's like, well, would you like to see Hunter again? And she's like, of course I fucking would.
He's like, okay, he's at the hotel, bye.
Yeah. All right, Meridian, room 1520. Peace.
And then he just drives off.
And yeah, so basically we see like Hunter in the hotel room in the final scene, and she comes and, you know, sees him and
opens the door, they embrace.
And then we see that Harry Dean Stanton's like watching from down in the parking lot to make sure that she did come and get his kid. At least he had enough responsibility to do that much, at least. And then he just gets in his truck and drives away. And that's Paris, Texas. There are a couple things we left out. You might be wondering why this movie is called Paris, Texas. That's because he talks about he bought this plot of land in the mail in Paris, Texas, because that plot of land is where he thinks he was conceived, because he knows that his parents had sex there.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was also the scene where they talk right after he was drinking, and he talks a little bit about his dad. And yeah, his mom, you know, his parents. And yeah, basically he was just like, yeah, my dad was
bad guy.
Yeah. I watched something else this week that had bad dads in it, so I was like getting it a little mixed up there. I was trying to remember. I'm like, he had a bad dad. He had to.
Was it BoJack?
Yeah, BoJack's got a shitty father. But yeah, so that's where the name Paris, Texas comes from, and he's talking about like how his dad always thought it was funny to be like, oh yeah, I met my wife in Paris, Texas.
Yeah, it was like the funniest thing he could say. It's like Paris, Texas.
Yeah,
and he did that all the time.
But yeah, so that's this movie. All right, you didn't like it. I liked it.
You liked it quite a bit, or
I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I don't know. This movie just did not hit for me. And I'm not really sure why. I think it's too long. I think there's a lot of slow parts that don't necessarily add to the story or the characters.
I could see that.
Like,
I didn't mind it as much because I kind of liked the lingering tone.
I liked it. I liked the lingering tone, but I don't know. I like long movies, so I'm not really sure why this one just didn't work for me. I felt like it should have been like 2 hours max. I thought like they could have cut out like a good half hour and not really lost anything.
See, I don't know if I agree with that personally, because like we said earlier, it feels like 3 movies.
Yeah, and also I know you said they feel like pretty cohesive. I don't really feel like they
cohesive in the fact that, you know, they all connect to each other, as in the fact that like obviously we get the reveal of what happened with like Travis and what was her name? Jane.
Jane.
Yeah. Obviously like each part sets up like the next part.
Yeah. I just don't feel like they blend together very well. I feel like the kind of transitions in tone and like setup they do, like they set up them up very well, but then it feels kind of wonky getting into the next part, in my opinion. And I don't really like the treatment of a lot of characters by the film, as in they just kind of leave them. Like, I don't really like that Walt and Anna just disappear from the plot. Like, I get what they're going for in the story, but I don't really feel like Walt and Anna had enough characterization to be worth, like, so much time spent on them. You know? Like, Walt has so much time spent with his brother, but I don't really feel like they added a lot to his, like, there was a lot of character for him. So it feels like a kind of a waste to have him in so much of the movie, and then just to disappear on him. He doesn't really feel like he has a good conclusion, I guess.
Yeah.
I also don't really think that the performances specifically between Walt and Anna were good. Like, their scenes, I don't really like them. Like, I think they're structured fine, and I think the writing's fine. I just don't, like, believe that they're married, and I don't believe that I don't think they did a very good job together, which is surprising, because I think, like, the scenes with Anna and Travis are really good, and I think the scenes between Walt and Travis are really good. I just think they couldn't act together for whatever reason. I also think that the movie puts a little too kind of a light on Travis. It's not a big deal, but
well, for most of the movie, we don't know. Like, we can infer,
but I mean,
we don't know specifically what he did.
Yeah.
So I didn't have a problem with that.
I mean, even, like, I like the way that they set up the final act, how it's kind of like a confessional thing. It feels like a confession, like the way it's set up and stuff. But it just feels like, this is my problem with, like, confessions and stuff. It feels like the movie wants to paint him in a light that he's, like, being absolved in a way. And I don't think that's true. I think that probably just comes down to, like, more of my morals and stuff. I think the film, like, just kind of is like, and now everything's okay for them. When in reality, he's making every situation much worse by just taking the children away from Walt and Anna.
Yeah, it definitely, I see what you mean, and I feel like that was, like, intentional. I feel like it wasn't meant to be, like, a clear cut, like, oh, you know, this is obviously what's good for the kid. It was obviously, to me, meant to be like, oh, he obviously is fucking up everything he's around, and he's gonna fuck up this kid, so he's like, fuck, let me just at least give him what he came here for and reunite him with his mother. Now, whether, because they don't really go into, like, depth on, it's obviously open-ended in the fact that it's like, well, does he stay there with his mother? I mean, I wouldn't assume so, given, like, her like, life choices, and it doesn't seem like even now she makes enough to, like, sustain him. We don't know anything about her life outside of her work, and so it's like, well, because Anne says, like, sometimes it's $100 she drops off, but sometimes it's like $5.
Yeah.
So it's obviously whatever she can provide for her kids, she tries, but I think that realistically she probably maybe like spent the weekend and then called Anna again and was like, hey, you know, I'm gonna like fly back with him or send him back, you know, obviously. But yeah, it's obviously like this very picturesque story of this really fucked up character who's just trying to, it seems like he's trying to, like, redeem himself a little bit at first, you know, he's trying to atone for his sins, but it's like he realizes, like, how selfish he's being with that and how it can never really be what he wants it to be, so he's just decides to kind of make what he feels given what he's, you know, the bed he's made up until this point. Yeah. You know, trying to redeem it as much as he can.
I mean, yeah, and I appreciate a lot of the stuff the movie does. I just don't think it, like, works as well as I wanted it to, personally. I don't...
Yeah, I guess we were just opposite circuits on this one.
I didn't hate it or anything. I think there's a lot of really, really great sequences in it. I just don't think that, like, the surrounding story really worked as well as I wanted it to. And I think I would have preferred the ending if he killed himself. Or if I don't know why. I'm just like, that one. I mean, the ending was fine. I think the confessional place was good, but I thought that was a little too long-winded the way he structured his story as well. Just a bit, like, just by, like, a minute. I think it just ran just a tad too long. And I think that's my main issue with the whole movie is I think just most of the scenes just kind of like almost work for me. Like they're almost good, but they don't quite hit it, I guess. I may rewatch it and like it more, but just didn't really, get me. And it may be because it also feels a lot like Vagabond, because he's literally a vagabond. He's kind of just wandering around. And especially the first part, it kind of feels structured kind of similarly. He's just kind of meeting random people. He's like, hey, it's the doctor. Hey, it's my brother. Hey, we're at the airport. And I like Vagabond a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's also some really good shots.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. No, I guess I do like the movie. I just barely like the movie.
I know what you mean. Like I feel the way you feel about this movie about various other movies.
Yeah.
And I see your points. I just personally don't feel that way about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just up to interpretation. I just interpreted certain scenes differently than you, and that's fine. And like I said, I didn't like the performances. I also didn't really like the kid in it. His performance, I don't think was super, super hot. There were a couple really good scenes with him, but then some of the regular other scenes, I was just like, eh.
Yeah, I was listening.
But it's a kid, so.
I was listening to this clip from an interview with I think it was Wim Wenders. I was listening to it. But he was basically talking about the kid, how he came onto the project, and they weren't sure at first because the kid was like, "This is boring," meh. And then there was a cup of water on the table, and the kid's like, "Hey, you should take that cup and just pour it on your head." So he's like, and so he took and poured half of it on his head, and he's like, "All right, now you got to pour the other half on your head." So the kid did that, and he said at that point it was they had become blood brothers or something. That was the point in which they kind of agreed to click and work well with each other. I don't know. I don't think he was awful, but I didn't think the kid was great either.
Yeah.
It was just kind of a middling child performance for me.
I thought Mr. Harry Dean Stanton did pretty good, though.
Yeah, I thought he did really good. By the way,
I feel I personally liked his performance more before he started talking. I like a lot of
he's a great
facial performance.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly think I may have preferred the movie more if he didn't talk for more time. Or I also really like the setup of he doesn't really know who he is and he's wandering around. I wanted more of that. Which is fine. I like the movie and that's how I'm feeling about this movie. It's kind of a thumbs up. It's a 6.0 for me. Or a 5.9. I don't know. I'll probably just give it a 6. Yeah, I'm gonna need to rewatch this movie eventually. I don't know how I fucking feel about it. But I'll give it a 6.
Okay.
What about you? 9. 10.
I'm thinking a 10.
Nice!
I usually, before the podcast, I had this rule where I wouldn't give a film a 10 unless I had watched it a few times.
Yeah.
But since doing the podcast, just for sake of holy shit, I really like this movie, I've given more movies just 10s on my first watch. But yeah, I would give this a 10. It might go down to a 9 or perhaps even an 8 among later watches. I was just my first watch. Good. I was on the edge of my seat.
I'm glad. I was I feel like Thomas is either going to agree with my points or he's going to give it a 10. I'm pretty sure I said that to Pierre.
Well, there you go, Pierre.
Oh. No, and I'm glad. And I wanted this movie to click. That's why I was sad. I'm I wanted to like this movie. This movie's been on my watch list since, I got a letterbox.
Yeah.
That was one of the first movies I, found out about. I'm oh, this is interesting. When I was first, getting into film. And I was really sad that it didn't hit me as much as...
This film, though, watching it, I got massive, both Buffalo 66 and Brown Bunny flashbacks.
Oh.
You can tell that Vincent Gallo really fucking liked this movie, I guess. I haven't, like, looked into it and seen if he took inspiration from it, but it's one of those things where it's like, he had to have. He absolutely fucking had to have, or else...
There's also always the chance that I disliked it more because I had such an emotional attachment to the first arc of it because of like my like pretty personal experience that was like, you know, a big half a year that was like really important. So there's always that chance, which, you know, what are you going to do? It's just ingrained in my brain. So, but yeah, you know, I do want to rewatch it. It has some really good elements and, you know, maybe... That was also, I think, the third movie I watched that day, so
okay.
I may have been movied out. But I just watched 2 movies I really, really liked, so I would have... Like, I watched Adaptation, and then I watched Birds of Prey, and then I watched this. Maybe it just seems slow compared to Birds of Prey.
Yeah.
No, it is a super slow-paced movie, though, so...
Yeah, it very much is.
Okay, let's talk about Adaptation.
Oh boy, Charlie Kaufman.
Charlie Kaufman.
Love him. My favorite screenwriter, probably.
So, Thomas, you did read The Orchid Thief, right?
No, I read like the first like 20 pages.
And it's really boring.
And yeah, it was really boring.
Which makes sense if you know this movie. That's why I'm like, you don't need to read it, Thomas.
Yeah.
Because this movie's like... I do think it captures the essence of The Orchid Thief.
I want to read it now, though.
I do think it captures the essence of the book.
Yeah.
In like a small part of it. But then it surrounds it.
It's like 1/3 of it is like a true adaptation of the book, but the surrounding 2/3 are just like this really meta.
Yeah. And that's probably why I like the movie so much.
Yeah, no, I think if Charlie Kaufman had just done the standard adaptation of The Orchid Thief like they had wanted, nobody would be talking about this movie, or maybe not even, they probably would.
Nick Cage also wouldn't have been in it.
Yeah.
Because Charlie Kaufman wouldn't have been a character.
Oh, yeah. That's the fair point.
So the main character is Charlie Kaufman in this, the screenwriter for the movie.
Yes.
Played by Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, and it's obviously like a fictionalized, exaggerated version of himself, but you could... I've watched a lot of Charlie Kaufman interviews, and he doesn't look like Charlie Kaufman, but he did a great job at like sounding like Charlie Kaufman. So,
also he has a twin brother in the movie, Donald Kaufman, who's not real. The characters are very obviously based on, like, how Charlie Kaufman perceives himself. That's why Charlie Kaufman in the movie is, like, kind of uglier than Charlie Kaufman in real life. Like, Nick Cage, he has, like, a big bald patch. He, like, is more overweight than usual, you know. Like, he sees himself, you know. Charlie Kaufman obviously, like, feels... terrible about himself.
Yeah, and they're also meant to be kind of like... It's like... Charlie is obviously Charlie, what he is, you know. He's this kind of down in the dumps writer who overthinks everything. Hates like conventional storytelling, you know, hates like the principles of like screenplay writing.
Yeah, he says pretty early on in the movie, there are no rules. People that say there are rules are liars and are trying to steal money from you.
Yeah.
And Donald
is like his idealized version where he's a lot more confident, he's a lot better at talking to people, socializing.
But he's also like pretty much a sellout. Like not necessarily Donald as a character, but he represents like how he would be if he just did think like mainstream stuff. Like he's like, I can do it. I can make up a character on the fly called the fucking deconstructionist who's a fucking
serial killer who cuts people into tiny pieces.
What was he, like a literature professor or something that was also a serial killer?
Yeah, something like that. And it's like, you know, it's obviously like kind of commentary on like, obviously Charlie Kaufman could do that, but it's also just kind of like film in general. Because I mean, when you really boil it down, there are two kinds of movies. Movies that are meant to be have an artistic purpose and movies that are just meant to be kind of more entertaining.
Yeah. And Charlie Kaufman, although I don't actually think he feels this way in real life, in the movie, he's like, no. And the ones that are just meant to be entertaining are bad. Like, especially early on, which, you know, I don't think he actually thinks that in real life. I think he's just like, okay, cool. If you want, like, you can make whatever kind of movie you want.
Yeah.
But when in this idealized, or in this version of himself where he's battling, you know, the two versions of himself, they're fighting each other. Like, Donald is just all about the entertainment and proper structure and everything, and Charlie Kaufman's like, I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah. And yeah, so basically...
So it starts off pretty much during the production of Being John Malkovich.
Yeah.
Which I really like the scenes where they're just like filming Being John Malkovich, and he's just like, I think it opens up on a shot of Being John Malkovich, and it like pans over, and Charlie's like standing in the corner.
That's a shot that happens later on, but the movie begins with him writing at home.
Oh yeah.
Which they later come back to.
Yeah, they do that a couple of times.
Yeah. But yeah, so basically he's currently, you know, they're filming, you know, his big screenplay, Being John Malkovich, which real life, quick, like, speed history of that. It was a script that he wrote, and it got, like, passed around for, like, a couple years before it eventually got made. And it got, like, really famous. Like, pretty much, like, not everybody in Hollywood read it, but basically, like, in terms of, like, the conversation, everybody had read it. Like, everyone was talking about it. And in
the original script, was it John Malkovich that he wrote it about?
Yes. He was basically...
so funny.
He was basically like, all right, well, because they were like, simply just because they're like, we need a celebrity name that, like, rings, you know, that has a good, catchy title. Being John Malkovich worked. So they're like, and if we couldn't get John Malkovich, we would just try to find a different, like, celebrity whose name would, like, kind of fit there. Because obviously the John Malkovich in the movie isn't actually like John Malkovich. At least I'd assume not. But...
you know, honestly, he's kind of similar.
I could probably see it. I don't do a whole lot of a deep dive Malkovich diving, so...
Malkovich, we should do a day where we watch John Malkovich movies.
I wouldn't be opposed. He's a good actor. But also, real quick fun fact about Being John Malkovich while we're still on that subject. John Malkovich got the script for it, and they had to make sure Charlie Kaufman wasn't stalking him, because in Being John Malkovich, there's like a bit where the office that the main character works at has a 7.5 floor. And that was, I shit you not, the, like, John Malkovich's, like, real life apartment number. So they were like, what the fuck, Charlie? He's like, it's a coincidence. I didn't know that. I swear.
I'm gonna get some water. Be right back.
Okay. But yeah, so the film opens with Charlie Kaufman. You know, he's received, this job of writing the screenplay adaptation for this new book that's written by a New York Times... Susan Orlean, yes. A New York Times author who wrote...
The New Yorker.
Or The New Yorker, my bad.
Pretty close, but...
Yeah, whatever. New York magazine.
And he's struggling from the very beginning because he talks to
told us
is that his agent or is that Susan's agent? It's something like
I think she's like a studio head or something that's like working on the project, but she's kind of like the midpoint between him and Susan.
So he like meets with her and he's like, listen, you know, I'm trying to like, I don't want to do like a regular structure and stuff, but I want to keep the integrity of the story. He's like, wants to be super respectful.
He wants to make a movie about flowers.
Yeah. he's like, it's not about the drama. It's about flowers.
And then she's like, okay, I don't know what that means.
But he's like, I don't either.
But he's like, I'm going to figure it out. So he basically just goes and has like the most intense writer's block. Probably the most famous, like at least in terms of movie screenplay writing, the most famous case of like just writer's block to ever be known. Because I mean, listening to like interviews with Charlie Kaufman during Anomalisa, which came out in 2015, I think. Yeah, I think it came out in 2015. But people were still asking him about like the process of adaptation. So this is obviously a movie that really still has an impact today on like people in Hollywood and interviewers and stuff. But his second movie did not do that well, which is Human Nature, which I still haven't seen. It's got
it's by
Tim
Michelle
Robbins.
Gondry as well. The same guy as fucking Eternal Sunshine.
Yep.
Which I've also seen some other movies by Michelle Gondry. And
Be Kind, Rewind.
Yeah, I don't think he's a super like great director. Honestly, like he's fine. Like he has some good direction.
He's got a nice like visual style.
Yeah, but it feels like he needs a really good script. Like Spike Jonze. This director, I think, is a pretty good director on his own.
Yeah, I haven't
like
seen
Her,
it, but I heard Her was great, and then he hasn't made anything after.
And I personally liked Where the Wild Things Are when that came out. He did that.
I like the Jackass movies.
Did he do those?
Yeah. And he does like Bad Grandpa and like all those too. That's where he started. He was making music videos and doing stuff for like MTV and worked with like the Jackass guys. He's in like the Jackass.
Oh, he wrote them. He didn't direct them. He wrote the Jackass movies. What the fuck? I didn't know they had a script. I thought they just kind of did stuff.
I mean, there are like scripted sequences at certain points. Like obviously when they do like the running from the bowls and like the intro and outro sequences. They're doing a fourth one, supposedly.
Make another Spike Jonze movie.
Yeah. He, like, started some, like, big business, like, right after he made Her. I did some, like, reading up on it. So I'm like, Her was, like, extremely successful and, like...
Yeah.
Why did... Like, both with audiences and critics. Why didn't they make a... Why hasn't Spike Jonze made another movie? But...
He's just hanging out.
He's just hanging out. It turns out he started a big fucking business after that, so that might have something to do with it. I've been busy. But, yeah, so Donald, his brother, is basically like, yeah, I'm thinking about getting into screenplay writing. I've got this one that's an idea about a serial killer and a cop, but they're all the same person.
And he's like, how? He's like, Mom said it was psychologically taught.
Yeah.
And he's like, Donald, how would you script a movie where they're all the same person if like how would you write that? How would you show someone in this basement torturing people, but he's also at the police station at the same time? And Donald's just like, oh, trick photography.
He's like, what?
What does that mean? And then he's like, yeah, it's psychologically taught. I'm going to bed.
Yeah. And, just a lot of, like, this beginning part is just kind of him struggling with his writer's block.
And then Donald,
bullying his brother.
Yeah, Donald's going to screenwriting classes with Robert McKee, of all people.
Yeah. And, he just keeps talking about Robert McKee. And he's like, fuck Robert McKee. What does he know? Nothing. There are no rules. And he's like, not
Brian
rules.
Cox looks like so much like Robert McKee. I didn't know what Robert McKee looked like before that, but I looked at him like, Jesus Christ, that like is pretty good like casting.
Huh. But let me think. What else happens in this like kind of first part before it get... Yeah, okay, well, while all of this is going on, while he's like writing the film and he's like reading the book, and we kind of get a look into the adaptation of the actual novel and Susan Orlean's life. Which,
so to do the actual adaptation in the movie is through flashbacks of her writing it.
yes.
Where it's because it was based on a true story.
Mm.
It's just very fucking weird to the point where, like, I watched this with Julia and Pierre.
Yeah.
And Julia was like, wait, did it, by the end of it, she's like, did this actually happen? Like, the last part, she was like, confused. She's like, what?
Like, in the movie or in real life?
Like, the last part of the, like, did Charlie Kaufman actually have a brother?
No.
Yeah.
No, all of that is precisely what the producer tells him. Make some shit up and do an exciting third act. But, yeah, so, let's see. So, basically, there is this guy. What's his name? I can't remember it off the top of my head.
What is his name? Fucking, John LaRoche.
John LaRoche. I don't want to do this on mic, but he reminded me of somebody we know. What? I can't.
Well, we'll talk about it after.
You know I can't read lips. Unless it's the fun house. That's the only thing I can read. But, yeah, so basically he's this guy who just steals a bunch of rare orchids from this, like, fucking nature preserve, and this, like, not a cop, but what do you call those?
Like a security guard, like for or a ranger.
A ranger, yeah. Like a ranger shows up and he's like, no.
Well, keep talking. I don't know what the fuck that means.
So, yeah, this ranger is like, hey, what the fuck are you guys doing? He's like, oh, well, yeah, technically you'd normally be able to bust me, but through this, like, loophole in the law, because, like, my Native American friends here belong to a specific tribe. And since they were technically the ones who pulled the flowers, I think we're fine. And the dude's like, he, like, cites, like, a Supreme Court case, and the dude's like, hold on, just don't go anywhere. I need to go talk.
It cuts to, like, it's probably, like, 17 officers there.
Yeah. But,
he's pretty much just, you know, a white guy exploiting, what is it, gathering rights from, like, Native Americans, because, you know, so he's just like, I'm just paying them pretty much.
Yeah.
He's a smart guy. He's like, I might be the smartest, cuts later to him in court, and he's like, I'm the smartest guy I know.
Yep. And this is where Susan Orlean comes in and she sees him, and then she's like, wow, this guy's quite the fucking character. So she basically, like, goes up to him after he leaves the court, and she's like, hey, I want to write, like, a piece about you. And he seems kind of off-put, but then he says something about, like, oh, I'm going to show these people, they could stick it up their ass or something vulgar. And then she, like, writes it down in her notes. He's like, wait, did you actually, like, publish that? And she's like, well, of course. He's like, oh, all right. So basically she just starts hanging out with him and kind of, like, picking up from his philosophy on life and stuff. And we've learned some stuff about him. Like, he kind of has, like, this nature where he's obsessive with things. He'll, like, super interested, and then, like, he'll just be done with it and then just move on. Like, when he was 10 years old, he was super into turtles.
Yeah.
And then he just got over turtles, and then
he was really into fish.
Really into fish.
Like, really into fish for so long. And he's like, and then one day, Rob was just like, I'm never setting foot in the ocean again. He's like, fuck 17 fish. Years, haven't been in the ocean. That's how much fuck fish.
Yeah. And she's like, what? And he's like, I love the ocean. I just fucking hate fish now. And yeah, so, you know, she kind of, like, there's like scenes where we see her home life, and there's like a dinner scene where they're talking about him, and everyone's like making fun of him, and she's obviously like getting in on it. She's making fun of him, but then she goes into the bathroom and has like a moment where she's like, oh man. And it's because he describes the ghost flower to her.
Yeah, she starts becoming obsessed with it.
Yeah. And basically it's just kind of, it's not really the ghost flower itself, but the idea of it, flower. Because she's obviously got this void in her life. She's super lonely and she needs to fill it. And she starts kind of building a romantic interest, it seems, with this John guy, but the story basically ends with the two of them going alone into, the Florida swamps. And, they get lost for a little while. And then eventually, they start like bickering, and then they come across the flower, and she's like,
it's just a flower.
Yeah, it's just a fucking flower. And then,
but obviously they cut like back and forth a lot.
Yeah,
like,
I'm just trying to get this like chunk of her and his story out of the way.
Yeah, but they're also like falling in love, kind of. She finds out he has like a porn site. He's like, I'm doing lots of porn.
Yeah, that's
people will look and people will buy anything.
Yeah.
But then, in the real world, or in the future world, or in the regular, whatever.
Current
Charlie Kaufman
2002-ish.
Charlie Kaufman is having troubles with like the ladies as well. There's this woman he really likes, but she like invites him inside. But he's like, no, I gotta work on my script. Yeah. He's like, God damn it, no, I need to go in there and I need to just immediately go. No, I'm sorry, I want to come in, because she had invited him in. And then he's like, okay, I'm gonna do it. And then he just starts driving away.
Yeah,
there's a lot of that. And all this time, Donald is becoming more and more confident, and he's like writing a script.
He's like,
he calls it The Three. Yeah,
he starts dating Maggie Gyllenhaal. Obviously not her in real life.
Yeah, she's a makeup artist for the movie.
Yeah, and then he starts like befriending like the cast of Being John Malkovich, and they won't give Charlie Kaufman the time of day.
Yeah, Catherine Keener's at his house while Charlie's in like New York later on. He's like, Catherine Keener's in my house.
Yeah, but basically. Yeah, so he has like this friend who's interested in him, and he's just too chicken shit to make a move. And then there's this like girl who's like a waitress, and he has like this masturbatory fantasy where they go to like this orchid festival.
Yeah, pretty much every fucking woman he meets, he like has a sexual fantasy about.
Yeah. And then, it gets to the point.
He like asks her out because she's like being really nice, and she's just immediately like, no, and then walks away and like talks to her coworker. He's like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, which I get it. I felt kind of bad for him specifically in the scene.
Yeah,
because I felt like the reaction there was a little stacked, but I'm sure she probably gets that kind of shit a lot. So
yeah,
but yeah, so it was like...
So he does that. He also has a fantasy about Tilda Swinton's character.
Yeah.
And Susan Orlean.
Yeah,
like, he looks at the back of the book.
The Susan Orlean one is, I feel like, the most significant out of all these, like, little romances he has, aside from maybe, like, the first one, since that one kind of comes full circle later on. Spoiler! Yeah. Towards the end of this, like, major act where we've been splicing back and forth while he's like basically trying to write this book, he kind of comes to the realization he like slowly starts to fall in love with Susan Orlean through her writing, and he jerks off to her like picture in the book, and then he's like, oh man, I am just like absolutely I need to meet her. There's just this hole that she obviously has that she doesn't describe in the book.
Mm-hmm.
So he needs to like figure out what this piece is. So he sends Donald, because he's too nervous, to go and interview her. And Donald gives her like the most like just kind of like generic stack of interview questions, and he's basically like, the final one is
who would you want to have lunch with, like, living or dead, like, or whatever?
And she's like, I don't know, Jesus or Gandhi. And he's like, great answer. And he gets home, he's like, that bitch!
She's lying!
Everybody says Jesus or Gandhi when they're trying to hide something.
Those answers were too perfect. She's hiding something.
He's like, what do you mean, Jesus and Gandhi? What are you talking about? And...
So this was in New York. Like he had gone to New York to find her, but he couldn't. Like he talked to her, or he saw her, but he couldn't talk to her. So then that's when he calls up Donald. Who? Oh, we forgot to mention that Donald's script. Like he finishes it.
Yeah, and he sells it.
He sells it for like a bunch. Like Charlie Kaufman's agent or whatever is like, this is the best script I've read in years. He's like, no. He's like freaking out about that, and he's like, you should have him help you with your script. And he's like, don't fucking say that.
Yeah, he's like, well, just an idea, putting it out there, and
but then he does get Donald to come to New York, and then has him interview her.
Before that happens, right as soon as like Donald comes home, they kind of like stalk her from across the street, and they see that she's crying, and then they see that she buys a ticket to Miami.
Yeah. So
he's just like, yeah, let's go to Miami.
So they do.
Yeah. So they go to Miami.
And they see her being picked up by LaRoche.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, okay. So they basically, like, follow them to their place. And then Charlie...
Donald's going to be like, I'm going to go check on them. And Charlie's like, no, it has to be me, right? I mean, like, it's my script, so it's like, it has to be me.
He's like, you go, brother.
And then he does. He's like looking at them fuck. Yeah. And then they see him.
And he's like, oh, and they're also doing like this like plant extract that,
and they're doing drugs. And they're doing, they're being illegal. They're doing illegal stuff. Yeah. And they catch him, and she's like, that's the screenwriter.
Yeah. What the fuck? And then she's like,
well, we have to kill him.
And then John's like, wait a minute. You kind of...
Nick Cage is immediately like,
oh, fuck! And he gets up, and then they're like, hey, get back down, you fat fuck. And, yeah, so basically, they're like, yeah, we're gonna kill you. Sorry. It has to be this way. We can't... And then, she kind of lets it slip that it's more about her public appearance because she doesn't want to really be known as in love with John. And he's like, wait, this is because you don't want to be seen in public with me. And she's like, no, it's because of the drugs. It's totally because of the drugs. And then, yeah, basically they, like, Meryl Streep has a gun and she makes Charlie take his car.
Yeah, and Donald's hiding in the
Donald's
back.
Like hiding under a pile of like clothes in the back. And then John is like following in their van behind. So basically they like pull up to like the swamps and they're gonna like leave his car there and make it look like suicide, I guess. But at the very last second she's like, get out of the car, and then he does, and then she like gets kind of over in that area, and then Donald just opens the fucking car door on her, and he's like, run! And they both
run in. They're like hiding in the swamp.
And John's like, what the fuck happened? She's like, I don't know. Just somebody got out, and he was also kind of bigger. I don't know. That's all I can tell. And they basically like hide behind this stump, and they have like this little like heart to heart where they truly connect as brothers. Charlie has been an asshole to him the entire fucking movie, and he's finally started to like warm up to him in this like kind of final part since he came over to New York to help him.
Yeah.
And he has like this really profound line that he says that really resonates with Charlie, which I can't remember what it is off the top of my head right now. Something about like love and something like that. I don't fucking remember. I feel like it's important to the like themes and narrative of the film, but I watched it once yesterday and I was pretty stoned while I was watching it, not gonna lie.
What we are, what we love, not what loves us. Is that the one?
Yeah. He's like, wow, that's deep. He's gonna thank him But they're like, Susan Orlean's like, I hear them breathing. And he's like, oh, the fuck. So they just stay quiet, and then morning comes, they wake up, they're still there.
And they think they're gone, so they like start walking to their car, and they see fucking John like passed out with his gun.
And then they turn Susan Orlean's down.
And she's like,
John, wake the fuck up!
And he wakes up and points the gun. They're like, no!
And then he shoots Donald in the arm. But they quickly get into his car, and they're just driving by. And they would have made a perfect escape. But there's a car that's driving.
That like suddenly comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, they're
and
like
Donald's like he's like laughing and he's like
yeah,
and he's like Charlie turns to him. He's like, stop laughing! And they hit the car and Donald just fucking
flies out the windshield. And holy shit! Like I remember like that looking pretty good. I was like, holy shit, because you can like see Nick Cage's face. As he flies out the windshield.
There's 2 car crashes in the movie. The earlier one with John LaRoche also looks pretty good.
Yeah. And it's like, holy shit. Oh, yeah.
There's also the song.
We forgot to mention John LaRoche's past, where he
has all his front teeth missing because he got into a car crash. Everything was looking good, and then his car got into a car crash that killed his parents, and then his wife divorced him because of it.
Yeah, she was also in a coma for a little bit. Yeah. When she woke up, she then divorced him.
There's also a song. What song do they sing?
Imagine me and you, I do. I think about it day and night. It's only right to think about the one you love and hold them tight. So happy together.
So Donald sings it to him earlier on.
He keeps trying to get Charlie.
He's like, Charlie, sing it, and then Charlie sings it to him as Donald's dying.
Yeah,
it's a nice little.
And Donald's got a goofy little smile on his face while he fades into nothingness.
Yeah, and then Susan Orlean's like still chasing Charlie.
Yeah, so they catch up,
but then John LaRoche, they're in a swamp, and an alligator fucking attacks, like, kills him.
Yeah.
And then she's, like, screaming. She's like,
you ruined my life, you fat fuck!
And like, Charlie's just like, shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up!
You miserable, old, lonely drug addict hag! And it's just like, yes. Oh, yes. She deserved that.
And then it pretty much just cuts away, right?
Basically, yeah, like, the cops show up.
Yeah.
And then
it cuts to him, like, with that girl that he likes. And
yeah, they're on, like, a date, and he's like, I love you. And she's like, why the fuck are you saying this to me now? Now that I'm with somebody.
Yeah. She's like, I love you too.
And then, he leaves, and he's basically
he's like, I miss Donald.
I miss Donald, yeah. And then, he references, he's like, I know exactly how I'm going to end my film. It's going to end on this hopeful scene where he's driving home after this hopeful encounter with his old friend. And he's like, it's going to end on the character's thoughts. Oh, man.
No, that's voiceover. And he had gone to that same class that Robert McKee taught earlier. And it's like, don't ever put voiceover. And obviously this movie's filled with voiceover.
Yeah.
And he's also like, well, what if my characters ever change? Like, Robert McKee's just a fucking asshole to him.
Yeah.
But
he's like, you can't have a film where characters don't change. And it's like, well, you totally can. It just won't have, like, as big of a mainstream appeal. But films like that do exist, and they can be good.
Yeah. But he's like, fuck it, I'm just going to end it on a voiceover. It's my movie. I'll do whatever I want, pretty much.
And then it ends on, like, some shots of, like, some flowers and, like, Times Square. And
it's like a time lapse of them, like, blooming and, closing up and stuff. I really like the one thing we didn't really say. I really like how it, how the movie starts, and then he'll be like talking about how he's going to start the movie later on.
Yeah.
Like, I know we kind of mentioned it, but at one point there's a time lapse of how the universe began, and then during his writer's block, he's like freaking out. He's like, "Okay, I got it. The movie's going to end with a single cell organism starting, and then it's going to go to like a lizard. It's going to go to the volcanoes," and he's like freaking out, and then he's like listening back, like,
What the fuck
Yeah,
did I
there are monkeys, there are apes. I don't know their specific names, but the apes that made us, and then
the flower will bloom, and that'll be and that's what the
and then you will leave looking out a window, and that's where the movie begins. And it's just like, what? Do you really need all that? I totally, as someone who like tries to write screenplays.
Yeah. You get it.
I 100 I related to that part
but also
specifically because there was like a period where a year ago where I was taking notes on like osteopith. It's been a while, but like all the different like types of like our ancestors and shit like that, and like that era, and I was like, I need to know all of human history before I can write a good film.
But I specifically like the 5 seconds afterwards where he's just like sweating and like listening back, and he's just like, what the fuck did I just say?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of the movie where it's like starting off a certain way, and then later on he's like writing how it's gonna start, and it'll be that.
Yeah.
Yes, this movie's super meta.
Yes, it is.
Maybe the most meta movie I've ever watched.
Yeah. Yeah. No. I hear comparisons. I haven't seen it. It's been a movie that's been on my watch list for a hella long time, called 8.5.
Oh, by Fellini.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I hear a lot of like comparisons between like Kaufman's work on this and Synecdoche compared to that movie a lot. So
Fellini. They talk about Fellini in this movie.
They do.
They go like, you have to... Donald's like, we all have a genre we have to stick to, and
no new genre has been created
since Fellini made the mockumentary.
I was like, is that true?
I mean, no. I think there are new genres, like, a lot of the time. We just don't have names for them.
Yeah.
So we place them in genres we already have.
Yeah. But,
so this is my favorite Nick Cage movie. It's one of my favorite Nick Cage's performances. It's great. He really, specifically when he acts with himself, like him and Donald are great. Because Donald feels like an extension of Charlie, like the real life Charlie, pretty well. But he also feels like his own character. And I think that's really cool. I also really, really love the scenes where they're singing the song.
I don't know. I personally didn't feel like he felt like Charlie too much.
Well, I mean, he feels like an extension of Charlie, like what Charlie wants to be in certain ways and what Charlie doesn't want to be in other ways. Yeah. Like, not necessarily he feels like Charlie, but he feels like what Charlie might want in his life.
Yeah, okay. That I agree with. This is one of 3 movies of his that I hadn't seen. Now it's just 2.
Which ones have you not seen now? Human Nature?
Human Nature and Synecdoche are the 2 I haven't seen.
And where's this sitting right now for you? Out of those.
Honestly, it might be at the bottom of what I've seen. But that is only because I've seen it once. Mm-hmm. But, yeah. Yeah, because I fucking love Anomalisa. I love Being John Malkovich is probably my favorite of his because that's the one I've seen the most.
That was the first one I watched, but I haven't watched it since then.
The first one of his. Actually, I might have seen Eternal Sunshine before I saw Being John Malkovich, but Being John Malkovich was the one where I was like, I like this one. It's quirky and fun. But yeah,
John Cusack's really fucking good in that movie.
He is.
So is John Malkovich, and so is Catherine Keener. Like everyone.
Yeah, Cameron Diaz is good in that movie, and I typically don't like her.
Oh yeah. I think she's a pretty good actress. I just think she takes a lot of really bad roles.
I've heard that she's not a very nice person in real life too. But
well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Why can't people be nice?
I don't know. Because she comes from an era where celebrities were like
revered.
Yeah, it's
not. We're more.
We've leveled out more today.
Yeah,
with,
we're now like
celebrities.
Fuck you.
We have that like nice like stepping ground where we can see how people transition into celebrityhood, and it's like, oh, you guys are just people too. Well, stop being such a fucking asshole then. But yeah. I really liked this one. It was very good. I would probably deem it as my favorite Nick Cage movie. The only one...
Still haven't seen a lot, though.
I still haven't seen a lot. I've seen a decent handful of Nick Cage movies.
But there are a lot. I meant mostly. I still haven't seen a lot of, like, the really great...
Exactly. So I would probably say this is my favorite Nick Cage movie. Off the top of my head, I can't think of...
He's pretty great in this movie.
The only one that would come close, and I'd say that this movie is better than that one, would be Raising Arizona.
I do really like Raising Arizona. I do like this movie much more, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm a very big fan of Nick Cage's performance in this movie, especially because it's a lot different than most of his roles.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't really freak out that much in this movie either. Like at one point, he like throws a bedsheet, and that's about it.
I feel like this is before. I mean, he
was like Vampire's Kiss was where like he first started doing his freakouts, and that was like 7-8 years prior to this movie.
Yeah, I feel like it hadn't quite become like the mainstream. Like, oh, Nick Cage, he's the corny freakout guy.
Yeah,
like it hadn't like quite circulated to that point yet. I feel like he could probably still pass.
I'm glad he was in this movie though, because like if this was made a couple of years later, he probably wouldn't have been. But this was, like, right off the tail end of him winning fucking an Oscar or whatever.
Yeah. But, yeah, no, this is pretty fucking great. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Yeah. I gave this movie a 10 the first time. I gave it a 10 the second time. I'm a very big fan of the structure of this movie. And I really like... I don't know if you caught it, but one of the, like, very first things they talk about when he's talking about, like... how he wants to structure the film. He's like, I don't want there to be car chases or guns or sex or drugs. And then he puts every single one of those in the movie.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was really funny. Like, I think the movie's pretty funny in the specifically the narration. Oh. Yeah. Charlie Kaufman, are you okay? You know,
I don't think he's
kind of worry about that guy.
Me too, honestly. Like, because anytime you're like...
But it's also a pretty depressing movie in a lot of ways. Like,
yeah.
Oof.
Because, like, after, like, Anomalisa came out, I felt the worst for him. Because, like, basically...
You watch that.
Oh, yes, you do. It's so great. But basically, he had... Because he made John Malkovich, he made this... Well, he made Human Nature, but nobody, like, really talks about that one. He made Being John Malkovich, then he made this, then he made Eternal Sunshine, and then, like, it was, like, up, and everyone was, like... After Eternal Sunshine, he basically had a, like... You are, like... Hollywood god. Like, everyone loved him, especially in Hollywood. They were like, holy shit, this guy, like, thinks outside of the box, he's great, we love him. And then they're like... He's like, can I direct my own work? And they're like, yeah. And then he made Synecdoche, New York. And then they were like, oh, no, it didn't do too well financially. He's like...
Yeah, and then he spent none of his movies. Like, this movie did not do too well.
Well, everything before that had done well financially. Like, I Sunshine.
Oh, okay. Well, like... I meant
John Malkovich. This didn't do super great, but it had gotten kind of like that cult status.
Yeah.
And it was big amongst, like, the Hollywood elites. Given the nature of the film.
Yeah.
And then after Synecdoche, New York, he spent years making Anomalisa, and that film, like, just got fucking nothing. Like, nobody came to see it. And then,
I mean, like that, you know.
And then
unfortunately, it's like adult animated movies. Yeah. Especially, was that claymation or was it?
It was stop motion.
Yeah, like that. No one's gonna fucking watch that except us.
Ooh, boy, that year at the Oscars, it was in, like, the animated category, and they had, like, the characters from Toy Story announced that Toy Story won that year. And it's like, didn't even really give it much recognition. Because Toy Story really needs the fucking recognition.
Yeah, what's Toy Story? Oh, was that the year Toy Story 3 came out? Yes, 2015, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, or maybe not. I don't know. Oh.
No, I think Toy Story 3 came out like 2010.
Yeah, no. Why the fuck was... What was in 2015? Oh, never mind.
It was I think it was Inside Out that came out.
Oh, yeah.
But I think they still had Buddy and Woods.
Well, that's fucking annoying. Why didn't they have Charlie Kaufman animated come up?
They could have just had Charlie Kaufman come up, because he is a great man, but don't worry, because he's getting...
I don't know if Charlie Kaufman would want to be a presenter. Like, I don't think he would want to talk to that many
probably
people.
not.
Like, no thanks.
But I'm sure he'd appreciate the boost of the popularity for his film. It's a great film. If you haven't seen it, check it out, Anomalisa. And this year he's got... I'm thinking of Ending Things, which is another book adaptation. I'm super curious to see what he does with that, because it's going to be the second time he adapts a book. Obviously, adaptation was the first one.
Mm-hmm.
I assume this one will probably stick to the narrative a bit more closely and won't be as meta, but you never know.
Is that being directed? Oh, that is him, right?
Yeah, no, he's directing it. And I've read the book. When I heard that he was directing it for Netflix, I went out and I bought a copy.
That other fucking movie that he like helped to write a little bit, Chaos Wing, that got delayed again.
Yeah, and I keep hearing it's like really bad from like a bunch of people. It's just like online.
Has anyone seen it? I don't know if I
think it went to like festivals and stuff. But I've heard like the reception for it's been not very good, and it keeps getting delayed, and that typically happens with problematic films. But that was just one he like helped write for.
Yeah.
It was just kind of get food on the table. And then he is publishing in August. His first novel comes out, Ant Kind. That's the one I'm really fucking excited about.
Yeah.
Because Charlie Kaufman has always been a great writer, and I think he's a pretty good director too, from what I've seen, but I think his like major strong suit is his writing.
Yeah.
And it'll be nice to like see what he can do with a book where he doesn't have to like think of the limitations of what he can film, how much it'll cost to do something. He can just write to his imagination's delight, and I'm excited for it.
Fun fact that ties together Birds of Prey and adaptation.
Oh.
They have the same production designer.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
This guy named K.K. Barrett. He also did Her and Being John Malkovich and Lost in Translation.
Oh,
He's
nice.
like, I'm going to do Birds of Prey.
Huh.
And Birds of Prey looks great. Like a lot of the production design is really good. So I can see that. Like that was one of the first things I looked up, actually. I'm like, who did this?
Okay. Huh. Interesting.
Also, it has the fucking Matthew Libatique, I think his name is. He's a cinematographer. He did like Black Swan, Requiem for a Dream, Mother.
Oh, lots of Aronofsky.
Yeah, he did like the first Iron Man as well and stuff. But
okay.
Oh, he did like all there. He did The Fountain and Noah and Pi. Like he might have done like all of the fucking
sounds like
Aronofsky films.
He's worked with every.
But that makes sense because there's legitimately super good cinematography in Birds of Prey.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so adaptation, I gave it a 10. What'd you give it?
An 8.
Okay, so a 9 together.
Yes.
Pretty good movies this week.
Yeah.
Even though I wasn't a big fan of what the fuck was it? Paris, Texas. I appreciated it. And I'm okay with appreciating some films more than I enjoy them sometimes. Because I enjoy a lot of movies, and if it didn't work for me, that's okay. Anyway, I got classics this week. And you know what I decided? I'm like, you know what? We should watch like an action movie.
Okay.
Are you familiar with the director John Woo?
I've heard
he did Face Off. But before he did American movies, he was like doing a lot of like pretty well-known like Japanese films, like Hard Boiled, if you've heard of that one, or A Better Tomorrow. He did the Better Tomorrow films.
I haven't heard of either of those.
He also did a movie called Red Cliff that's apparently very good. And Red Cliff Part 2. But we are going to be watching a movie called The Killer.
The Killer.
The Killer. 1989.
1989?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, The Killer. Good luck finding it. Lots of people have seen it. It's just not available to stream.
A rent?
Not, I haven't looked on the services. I have. Let me see. I will check for that. But what do you got?
Okay. It's been a while since I've done this. But, alright. B, W, or L?
If I pick B, is it going to be the B movie?
I will say I've seen one of these. One of these has been on my watch list for a really long time.
It's available to stream or rent anywhere either, so we'll have to find it.
And then, okay, so one I know I like, one I suspect I'll probably really like, and then one I haven't seen, and I'm pretty sure I'll fucking hate it. But
fuck, I want that one. W.
W. Fuck you. Oh my god, I hate you.
Why'd you pick it?
Because I need some stakes in my life.
If you don't have the danger of watching a bad movie. Okay, so what's this shitty movie?
It's called...
Is that the shitty one?
Yes. Who's Driving Doug?
Who's Driving Doug?
It's got the kid from Breaking Bad in it, along with a little someone you might recognize. I'm just gonna wait for your...
Ray William Johnson's in the movie. He has a production company. Is this made by his production company?
I have no idea. Super Mega was talking about it on one of their recent podcasts, and I was like,
am I gonna have to rent this through YouTube?
Maybe? I don't fucking know. I'm probably gonna torrent it if I'm being honest.
Oh god. Okay, cool. Epic. Very epic. We're watching Who's Driving Doug from 8/16.
Yes.
Oh great. Very, very excited.
Oh man.
You know, what's funny is Ray William Johnson co-produced Manson Family Vacation, which I'm a fan of.
Oh, huh.
As a producer, his production company's done produced like some decent stuff and some really shitty stuff. So maybe this movie won't be terrible. Maybe it'll be okay.
Maybe.
I doubt it'll be good. I'm hoping for okay though. Maybe he's really good in it.
Maybe. Man, I shouldn't have fucking included this one.
Well, too late now.
You want to know what the other two were?
Sure.
Alright, the B was Burning. The Korean.
Fuck!
Yeah, right? I know! That's the one I wanted! And then the other one was another Harry Dean Stanton movie called Lucky. And it was like his last movie, and David Lynch acts in it and stuff.
I almost picked Repo Man, which is another Harry Dean Stanton movie from 1984 with Emilio Estevez.
I've heard of it, but I haven't seen that one.
But, well, I've heard The Killer's really good, so hopefully we like that one. We probably won't like it.
Hopefully, or else next week's going to be really, really not good for us.
It's funny as I almost picked a really bad movie just to, like, fuck with you.
Oh, well, you won't have to do that for a while. This'll leave me,
scarred and deformed.
For salty for the next few weeks.
You put it in your lip!
I know.
And I was like, W stands for win, so that must be the good one.
Oh, no.
Okay, well, those are the two we're watching.
Yeah, let your grandma know.
And then the next, week after next, we'll be working on another director deep dive.
Ooh.
And I've narrowed it down to 3 of them, so we'll figure out who that is next week on an epic episode of
Screen Weens.
Bye.
Adios.